Okay, the mother. So the mother is the archetype that comes after the maiden. And so it's after monarchy, it's when we've stepped into our womanhood. And the archetype of the mother is the archetype that takes the dreams of the maiden, the ideas of the maiden, the that kind of like innocence and dreamscape and bursts it into physical form. And so the element of the maiden is the air, we're bringing it down, and then it's meeting the fires that reside in the belly of the mother and pushing it out so that it's being birthed into physical form. It's being created on this earth, and that can be actual babies or it can be creative projects. The sky's really the limits of what the mother creates. And I always think of the mother as the queen on her throne. At different times that feels more like crone energy, but at this time in my life it feels very much like that queen that sits on her throne, that is birthing her creations, compassionate and nurturing, nourishing, all those beautiful motherly aspects. However, with the mother, the shadow side of it can look like overgiving, just giving, because we're with the mother, we're at the completion of the yang part of our cycle of the archetypes that lie within. And so the mother can look like so much giving, so much fire, and that can lead to burnout and exhaustion. And that's where the shadow aspects of the mother can come in. And so with the balanced mother, there's also that death mother of just letting things die, letting things go, not having to do everything, not constantly on, is the word that comes to mind, because it can feel like that constant fire, And so the mother, that sovereign queen, also lets things die. She knows when it's time to let things go, to take the exhale, which can feel like the surrender, the death. And that's where that balanced mother comes in. There's the nourishing of the self, the mothering the self, the giving to others, but giving to herself first, so that it's coming from that really full space as opposed to depleted and exhausted. And so the invitation for you to look at as you meet your mother archetype and how she shows up for you is, where am I overgiving? Where am I doing, and giving to everybody else and not giving to myself? And also what the shadow side of the mother can look like. And this is also stemming from, I'll call it an undernourished maiden or an undermothered maiden, is when she is defining herself by the work that she puts out. That defines her value. That's who she is. And so it's like, who am I outside of my work? Who am I out of this like birthing creations and giving to the world? That's not where my worth lies. That's not my value. Who am I outside of that? Because the mother is whole in herself. She doesn't need to be defined by what she gives back to the world. That worth comes from deep within. And so where the shadow side of the mother can also come in is control and gripping. And I always go back to the breath, but the maiden, the mother, the yang part of the cycle is the inhale, and then we'll move into the wild woman, the enchantress, the crone, and that's the exhale. But within, we have to inhale, we have to exhale, right? But within the yang, there's always the yin. Within the yin, there's always the yang as well. And so the mother can look like that gripping and control. I have to make this happen. I have to. And there's not that where she can be like overbearing and in your face and all that kind of stuff, that like need, push, where the magnetic or the feminine allows things to come to her. There's that pull, right? And so when we think about that controlling, do, push, that very like yang energy, that is exhausting. That feels overbearing. That is not allowing space to come in. That's not allowing the magic to come in, because the magic of the feminine is to draw things to her, to allow that magnetic pull towards her. And so that's where that exhale needs to come in, the surrender, the allowing things to come, the taking the big exhale to just allow things to collapse and crumble. And I always think of just that surrender into another human or something greater than the self, but letting go of that control. Because if we were to think of control as taking an inhale and never letting go, you can't survive in that space. And that's what that shadow mother can feel like, just like need, do, fire, moving forward. And it leads to exhaustion and burnout and depletion and all that not fulfilling stuff when we're wanting to move forward from that very fulfilled and filled up space. And where the shadow mother can also come in is that codependency, where we need others for our validation. We need to be really seen by others and all that kind of stuff. And it's beautiful to get validation from others and to be seen by others. But that codependency, we want to essentially nurture the inner maiden so that she is fully seen by us, she is validated by us. So we're not seeking everything from external sources, because that's how codependency can look like, or what it can look like is, I need you to fill this void that is within me. I'm enmeshed with you. And with the mother, we want to nurture the maiden so that she can step fully into the mother archetype and not need the external validation and worthiness coming from outside sources. And with the nurtured maiden, the balanced maiden, where we're at in our cycle when we're in the mother archetype is ovulation. So we're feeling really good. We're loads of energy, like we're just on fire. And that's where she feels so fulfilled with life that she can give to everybody else from that space. The direction of the mother is south, the element is fire. The season is summer, so everything is in full bloom. It's like you are feeling your best, you're alive and vital, but so nourished and full from within, where it doesn't feel like from a place of guilt or exhaustion or I have to do this to define my work. It's like this just wanting to serve because you've already served yourself. You've already filled up yourself. And the full moon, when La Luna is in her mother archetype, she's in the full moon. And so it's like everything is an illumination. Everything is seen, like you're just on fire. You're feeling so good. But it's a beautiful time when you're in this archetype of your life and during the month to just look at, where am I gripping? Where am I clinging? Where is guilt coming in? Where do I feel like those shoulds? Like just, I should be doing this, I should be doing that. And I noticed that coming up in myself a lot with my business is I should. And it's like, no, like just allowing that surrender to happen. And so when you see those, tendencies to come up, the shoulds or the constant doing, with the illumination of everything, it's like, okay, what I should be doing in this moment is actually just being with myself and sitting with myself and nourishing myself. And where is this need actually coming from, where I feel like I should. And oftentimes it's coming right at childhood. Our worth was defined by our grades or, what we accomplished. And not saying that I don't want to project that on you, but oftentimes that was what was happening in most of the clients that I work with in their childhood, adolescence, was you were praised, or that's the only word that's coming to mind. I'm not sure if that's the word that fits for me, but you were deemed valued or worthy when you received praise and accomplishment and all of that kind of stuff. And so that's where those shoulds, like I should be doing. And it's like, no, like how can I just pull back and sit with myself in this moment and nourish myself and give to myself and fully receive from myself. And so from that place, that's the balanced mother, encouraging, big-hearted, giving, but from that full nourished space. And so I would love for you to share anything that comes forward for you with this mother archetype. The signs, I don't know if I shared the signs of the air. No, I didn't. But the signs that come to mind with that fire, because essentially the mother is the fire, is like Sagittarius, Aries, Leo. And so thinking of those, what do they embody? But also meeting your own balance that's within you. And so sharing what your mother archetype embodies in the group, or emailing me what your mother archetype embodies, and just noticing where her shadow's coming up, where is she overgiving, and where can she give to herself, and move into that really nourished, held space.